Hi, you guys. Okay. I am live and I am literally editing a video right now about sister wives, but I just logged into my second Twitter account and I noticed that I was getting like tagged and spammed about some stuff related to Alex and Phil. And then they were tagging Alex and Phil, basically saying that I am spreading something about them starving their children. And I don't know where that even came from. When I was on a live stream 2 nights ago or 3 nights ago, I don't even know, people started coming into my live stream and saying, you need to look at Alex and Phil for saving or they're starving their kids. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? No. And then somebody came again into one of my other live streams and said, you really need to look into this. And I said, like, I don't necessarily agree with some of this. People said, oh, she's a cardiac baby. And I was like, well, then that doesn't make sense. She can't be starving it. And like, I was trying to tell people, like, stop accusing her of starving her baby. Like, stop it. Like, her baby has a cardiac condition. She has a hole in her heart. She also has two separate like defects in the way of her heart. I told people that when you have a cardiac baby, the children, they run out of energy and they get tired and they get fatigued and it takes up all of their energy. It takes up all of their calories in order to grow. I know this because of my son. I told you he had open heart surgery. I can tell you in the years before he had open heart surgery, growth was damn near impossible. Weight gain was dang near impossible. And we also ended up with my son on a feeding tube. My son was eating constantly and he didn't gain weight for over a year. So I was being empathetic. Like, I totally understood. I also know that when the heart starts to fail, it's not traditional heart failure, but then it's more like, because heart failure would actually be the muscle failing. But when the heart gets overworked, what happens is that in a kid that needs a repair, the fluid will start to build up on their lungs and they'll get what's called pulmonary hypertension, which will cause increased fluid on their body. So they get puffy and they sometimes gain water weight, which also happened to my son. So I was being extremely empathetic, saying, hey, you guys, accusing her of starving her child is like completely unfair. And like, stop doing this. Like, stop. Why would she starve her child? Like, on all of her vlogs, I watched every single one of her vlogs, you guys, every one of them since she's had Cassidy. And all she's been doing this entire time is listening to the doctors, following the recommendations of the cardiologist, trying to pump, while also dealing with the grief of having a child who is sick. And if you have a sick child, you don't necessarily understand how you can grieve a child that is still alive, but also having to deal with the magnitude of the illness and postpartum. She's not a doctor, she's an RN. And Alex has worked in the NICU as an RN, so she knows what she's doing. She's not going to like not follow a doctor's care. It's not like she's out here like completely negating what the doctors are saying. She's not gaining weight because she has a hole in her heart. You could give that baby 1,000,000 calories and it would still have trouble growing right now. And the baby has GERD because the heart impacts the profusion of the stomach muscle. So your stomach works at a function that it's supposed to work because your heart is the energy. Your heart is the nucleus of your body. It basically pumps blood into your organs so that your organs can function. And when your organs aren't getting the right blood or at the rate that they should be getting, all of your organs start working at the best of their ability. So it's not uncommon for kids that are cardiac kids to need feeding tubes before surgery and after surgery. Some cardiac kids keep feeding tubes forever because they become dependent on the tube as babies and then they just never develop the skills to eat or the desire. And no matter what her path is with this feeding tube, it's completely irresponsible for anyone to go run to her and say that I'm dragging her over starving her child when I have actually defended her repeatedly. And I've asked people to stop in the forums, stop accusing her, like let her go forward. The only criticism I had was I don't agree with the sharing of the content online. But that's just an opinion. That doesn't mean you need to cancel her. You know what I mean? Like, it's I don't watch her. Like, I don't watch her. So I don't have to worry about it. My concern was like, well, now all of this baby's medical conditions are out for the public consumption. I don't agree with that. That's why I changed my stance. But like, honestly, if she wants to do that and something negative happens down the line because of it, she'll deal with that down the line. But me not agreeing with her and not agreeing with family bloggers doesn't mean that like I don't like her and you should cancel her. It just means that I don't watch family bloggers because I don't agree with using children and using their health for content. And it's why I stopped talking about my son. So I just feel bad now that people have been bothering her to the point where she now thinks that there are people out there trying to tear her down when I'm not trying to tear her down. I'm actually trying to tell people to lift her up and support her. Be good to her. Don't be mean to her. Don't accuse her of starving her. Like, she's under enough scrutiny by putting this out in the public media, in the public platform. She's under enough stress dealing with her daughter who needs to have an open heart surgery, which, by the way, is so stressful. Until you've been through like open heart surgery with a child, you'll never totally understand like how stressful it is, not only to get to go through the surgery, but to get to the point of surgery, because you literally watch your child struggle to live. You watch your child struggle to breathe. You watch your child struggle to eat. You watch your child struggle. And when you as a mom want to be able to help your child and feed your child and you can't, you feel terrible, because we want to feed our children, especially if we're nursing. A nursing mama, all she wants to do is feed that baby and help that baby grow. And when a mama can't do that, it hurts our hearts. And then we take on that responsibility. We almost feel guilty because we can't fix it. And I'm sure that's how she's feeling. I can't speak for her, but I saw that in her. Like, she just wants to help. That's it. So stop going to these creators and harassing them, because I literally put together a 21 thing thread so that you guys would see that she's not starving the baby. And you guys somehow flipped that into I'm telling people that she starved the baby, which I didn't say. It's so clear that she's not starving the baby. And I just can't understand this. And I don't think that anyone should be canceled. Like I said repeatedly. So I sent them a tweet. They can respond if they want. Alex, my heart goes out to you. I am a mama with a child with congenital heart disease. And I removed the thread. Honestly, it had all of the clips of all of her things that she went through. Like, she finds out about this. She finds about this. She finds out about that. And I literally said that there's points in here where she's dealing with denial. And I wasn't criticizing her. It was just coming from a mama with experience. Like, in the very early stages, when your child is sick, you go through denial. It's just a part of the process. It's a part of the process of having a child with chronic illness. It's part of the process of having a child. So, yeah, that's it. So be nice to Alex and Phil. I support them. I'm a mom with a child with congenital heart disease. I'm a mom with a child with a feeding tube. It's the worst thing you can do to accuse a mother of starving their child, especially when they're doing everything they can to help.